If you were trying to guess the publisher of the game Adulthood, you would probably not guess Brotherwise Games, given that their catalog to date includes titles like Boss Monster, Call to Adventure, Overboss, Mistborn, and Super Boss Monster. Titles that skew very heavily towards the fantasy end of the thematic spectrum, whereas Adulthood is very much the opposite of that. This is designed by Johnny O'Neill, co-founder of Brotherwise Games, one of the brothers in question, and you are, in this game, starting as a youngster and growing up to an adult of what I imagine is Johnny O'Neill's age, mid-40s maybe. The game ends at that point, and then you are measuring your impact on society and your level of happiness, and ideally, you are better than all the other adults at the table. You have outdone them and can consider yourself a success, and you have put them in their place, below you in society. Rules don't actually say that, but that's what you can imagine yourself doing. Now, this game has a solo experience as well as a multiplayer experience, and typically when a game has that, you talk about multiplayer first and then how you vary it for solo games, but instead I'm going to talk about the solo experience first. You remove one element from that, you add a few others, and you get to multiplayer, and I think it'll make sense to start with solo play, and then we'll carry on from there. Here's the setup for the solo game of Adulthood, with a game board in the center tracking your impact on society and your happiness, with you moving these markers toward one another over the course of the game as an arc nova, and you must have them at least meet in order to have a chance of winning. But you can lose points, so you want to keep pushing them past one another. In addition to having these tokens meet, you must satisfy a solo achievement. You draw two at random. Before the game begins, you are going to choose one of them. But before you do that, you are going to see the 3 adulthood cards that are laid out at the start of the first round. You are also going to look at 2 career cards and keep one of those. So you get some guidance before you decide what you want to do. Okay. I can try to be the richest person and have at least 6 money at the end of the game, in addition to having these tokens meet. Or I can try to be the most famous and have stars and gems. And those stars and gems come from the upper right corner of careers and adulthood cards, and sometimes life events as well. Life events are random things that happen. In the solo game, you make a deck of 8 life events, and at the end of each round, you draw one of those, and sometimes they're good and sometimes not. So, do I want to make lots of money, or do I want stars and gems? There's 1 star right here. I could become a meme if I want, and that would give me a star. Okay, you need at least 4 to achieve the first level of victory, but if you achieve more, you get the 3rd level of victory, and the rules suggest that you try to get 3rd level on all the different experience cards, just for variety in terms of what you're doing over the course of play. So both of these careers are very similar. So you initially start with the left, and then after you get promoted, you get the right-hand side. They don't necessarily give me a ton of money. This going for stars and gems. Let's just go with this. So throw this aside. This is not my goal. You start with 1 energy and 1 money. And you need energy and money in order to get cards and take certain actions. So looking here, if I want stars and gems, neither of these really affects that. We'll just go with being a professor. Okay, so this starts in my hand. And each round you are going to assign 8 time to the actions here, and then resolve them, and then work with cards, buying new cards and playing things from your hand. So, what do I want to do with my time? I have a terrible career to begin with, working in a cafe. Maybe not terrible, but not great paying, we'll say that. And I can spend 2 wellness to get energy. I can try to get a new career by spending 1 of those. And then I've got 1 time left, and spending 1 time somewhere doesn't do anything unless I spend time and money to go on a date. So I can do this. And then we resolve all this action. So I can draw a new career card. So maybe I'm not cool at being a professor and would instead be an actor. Ooh, that would give me a lot of money, which, well, I threw that away. Not going to do that. So that's in my hand, though. It does give me a star, and I do want stars. So maybe I want to look into being an actor. All right, so that's resolved. Spend 4 here, I get 1 money. Spend these 2, get energy. And I'm going to go on a date. So I spend that money, and I draw a partner card. And that goes in my hand as well. So I could be dating a grad student. Now, these all start in my hand. I resolved all this. I'm now going to get cards and play cards. And the first card you get is free. Next one costs $1 in energy. Third one, 2 money, 2 energy. So I know I want this because it gives me a star. Don't know if I care about these. Some cards are free to play. Other ones have a cost. This one, I need to be a grown-up and spend 2 money before I start talking about family planning. This one, you just need money for board gaming, and that's it. These cards here with the colors, they will replace the action on the board. So right now I spend 2 time to get 1 happiness, but I have an option here. I could spend 3 time and get happiness and energy. So it's a way to adjust how you can use your time in different ways. What do I want to do? Let's become a meme. So I'm going to play this, and I get 3 energy. And I get unhappiness. Aww. At the end of the game, each unhappiness or negative impact will cost you a point. Okay, so I got lots of energy. What am I going to do with that? Well, let's start dating a grad student. Let's spend energy to, do I want actor or professor? Let's start with professor first because I can earn more money. Okay. So I've got this. I can buy a second card. Do any of these seem worthwhile? I mean, board gaming gives me options. This one, you draw the top card of the Adulthood deck, so you get some bonus. But I can't play this until I'm grown up. And you're grown up when your happiness reaches 6 or impact reaches 6. You have to have some basic experience first before you can be considered a grown-up. So I'm going to earn a bunch of money. I could play board gaming in the future. That will give me more here. Doesn't necessarily help me towards this. For this, I need money. We'll just leave these. Okay, these get discarded. I have a life event. Okay, on my next turn, you must take this action. That's it. Okay, that's my choice. I'm busy with disaster relief. Okay, so 3 new cards. I must go here. So I'm going to get some impact and energy. I want to spend 3 time as a professor to get 2 money. I'll spend 1 over here for energy. And there we go. So I get 2 impact. I get an energy. I'm going to be swimming with energy. Over here, get energy with my grad student. Over here, get 2 money. Okay. You notice none of these had stars or gems. I should have looked at that because I'm going to rewind the clock a little and pretend I put 1 here. I can spend energy to discard and replace a card in the market. So we'll pretend I did that as well. So what do I want to replace? What is useful here? All right, draw a partner card. Okay. If you replace a partner card this turn, gain energy. Oh, relationship drama. Do I want that? That does not help. We'll just throw this away. This also does not help. So this card gives you the symbol of an experience card that you already have. That can be useful, but I can't play it till I'm a grown-up. But here we go. We'll draft fulfilled. Since I'm trying to get stars and gems. And then for these, I will spend money and energy to take one of them. This gives me 1 happiness. Each turn you don't spend time here, you lose happiness. Oh yes, the addiction of social media. If you have an art and the hand symbol together, then you can take this action, which I don't. So I'll take this for my second card. And then I will spend energy to play it. So I can get cheaper happiness, but I'm now committed to going there. Okay, I'm not a grown-up. I need some happiness. Need to do stuff. That's the end of the round. Once you play a card, it just goes into a pile here, and all that matters are the symbols. Okay, I still have my grad student out. These are in my hand. This goes away. End of round 2. Life event. Lose money for each book in your life. Oh, she's going to cost me money. Okay. For each money you lose, you cannot pay, you get unhappiness. And I may meditate for free, which is not relevant right now because there are no new cards here. Sometimes the wording on these is not ideal. It seems like this should let you do something, but right now there's no cards in the marketplace. So it's meaningless. Oh, sorry, this goes over here. It gives me a book. We could say we just set up for round 3, and then I get to throw one away by meditating for free if we want to do that, right? A little wiggle room in the rules that are sometimes a bit unclear, but we'll do that. We'll say I meditate for free and throw away that. Okay, beginning of round 3. I must spend time there. I want to get more money, but I also I need to be a grown-up. I can donate money to get impact, but I don't have enough money yet. Get more impact. Discard to try to get something else. I do have a gem there, which is what I want. And just spin that there. Could get a new partner. Could try for another job. I think we're good for now. Okay. So, looking at the career, for example, I can't play the career until I'm promoted. You can't get promoted until you're a grown-up. To get promoted, you have to go here. Instead of drawing a new career card, you get promoted if you are a grown-up. So some hoops to jump through. In addition, I have to have 2 stars already in play before I can get this higher level actor ability. This will count as one of the stars, and that counts as another. So as soon as I play this, next turn I can start using this better action. Actually, that's the only choice I have. You can't go back to this one. But I'm not promoted because I'm not grown up. All right. Round 3. So get energy, get happiness, get impact, get 2 money. Oh, I ignored my grad student. Again, in a solo game, instead of going here, I could have gone 1 and 1, get a new career card, just to have choices, but we'll just carry on. Spend energy to discard a card. What is no good? This is a gem that I want. Food pantry gives me an option to spend more money to get more impact. Seems good. Being a gang gives you lots of money, so it'd be great for that other achievement I did not take, but gives you bad impact. We'll throw this away. Don't need that. Okay. I want gems. I'll take this for free. I will spend money and energy for this. I will spend energy to work at the food pantry. So now I will get more impact there. I can get rid of the social media by just playing video gaming, which has no cost. No cost for video gaming, that seems unrealistic, but Okay. My social media goes over here because it's part of my experience. I have no energy, can't play this. I'm not grown up, can't play this. I am done. Okay. Round 3. Discard a glasses card from your hand or life over here. If you do, have good impact. So apparently the glasses are hoodlum markers, right? You're dealing in NFTs. You're part of a gang. You're involved with vandalism. Okay. Sometimes it can be good. I've seen people win going heavily into there. But I don't have one. I can't throw one away and get impact. Going over here, there's no symbol, so I'll just put this on the side. You see the flow of the game. You're dealing with the cards that come up. You've got randomness to it. You've got moderate ways to adjust this. But in some ways, you're dealing with whatever comes off the top of the deck. Right? Here I've got 2 gems. I definitely want those in order to be the most famous. And now allocate my time. Right? Go here. I want 2 in money because I want impact to get me to be a grown-up. I don't have 3 money. And I still can't be a grown-up yet. So sad. I'm not really focusing on being a grown-up. Here, there. And then allocate. We'll do this one more round. Energy. 2 money. Okay. Here, 2 impact. I spent. Here, happiness. I kind of wanted you to see like how things trigger as you go on, but we're not quite there yet. So this is all I have. Oh, instead of going here to get happiness, I should have gone here to get energy. We'll go back in time, reduce my happiness, get another energy. Is it cheating in a solo game if you do that? You see the choices you're making right away. So I'll take Country Club, again, which I can't play until I'm grown up. I'll spend money and energy for Home Gym, which I need lots of money for. And now I'll spend energy to put my actor in play. Okay. So that comes down here. And this goes away. Round 4. Personal day. I get happiness and energy. Yay me. On my next turn, you cannot spend on work. Okay. Nothing on work, which is okay because he doesn't make a lot of money at the lower level. 2 here. 2, 3, 1. There we go. Apparently I'm doing round 5. Just to show you. 2 in money gets me 2 here. I'm now grown up. I get this symbol. 3 here is 2. 2 here is energy. 1 here is energy. So, on my next turn, I didn't even show these. Did not even care. On my next turn, when I do career, because I have 2 stars, oh, I need a briefcase. This is one tricky part of the game as well. It's like the one weird rule thing that is not explained, but you just have to figure it out yourself. So, first part of your turn, allocate your time. So, I can allocate what I'm spending. Right? So I can do that. I can go 3 there. I go 2 here. I go 1 here. I need to get 2 energy if I want to keep doing this. So that means, oh, do this, I want a new partner? Okay. We'll do that. Yes, I need to do this. Okay, so step 1, allocate everything. I'm already a grown-up. I technically don't have this yet. So maybe I can't do this. The rules seem a little fuzzy here. But if you resolve these in the order of your choice. So if I resolve this one, I gain a briefcase if I'm a grown-up. And now I've got a briefcase, and I can do this. Or could I not even put the cost on here? You can pay more than you want. I could take all of these and put them on here, but I get only 1 lightning bolt. Some adulthood cards will give you a bonus if you overpay in things. So that means, yes, you can definitely overpay in things, but you don't get the reward more than once. So I can overpay here. And then when I resolve this, suddenly I have the briefcase, and now I'm promoted. And so now this pays off, and I get 5 money and happiness. Like the one weird thing here, where this one changes its actual nature. If I change the order of operations, I would get only 1 money. All the extra that I put here is wasted. And then I would draw a new career or get the briefcase. Right? Happiness, energy, energy. And so now I've got an engine here to build lots of money. What am I going to do with all that money? Well, I'm going to spend 4 money on a home gym. I'll start a new pile here so you can see everything. And what is that? Each turn gain energy. Okay, resources need to be kept apart along with partners. They're not a one-time thing. Get energy each turn for my home gym. I am a grown-up. Money and energy. Put this over here. Now, I am trying to get stars and gems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've already achieved this level here, but these are not even close. And so I have to spend the next 3 rounds pushing them together as much as possible by doing whatever. I can acquire a card. I can get one of these. So when you play a star card, you may lose this card and gain 3 happiness. Losing a card, does that mean putting it here, or does that mean discarding it completely? I have not found an answer to the rules on that. So a little fuzziness in the rules. It makes things a little harder to figure out. But you get the idea of what you're doing here. I've gone through half the game. You see the flow of everything. I'm going to reach this. Possibly I can do even better over the next 3 rounds. And I just have to worry about getting this here. So I'm going to maximize 2 happiness, 2 impact. I need energy if I want to keep getting money, but in this case, I don't necessarily need more money at this point. I just need these so I can maximize this. I might want to get married at some point because then I'll get happiness as well. To get married, you have to go here, time and money, and you get married if you're an adult. There you go. Get some rings. And now when I take action with a grad student, that sounds weird to say, I'll get energy and happiness. So, over the course of the game, your actions available to you will change. You will modify them based on how you get and play cards. All the cards, when you replace them, go into your experience pile. And you keep going. Oh, I forgot about this one. I can play this, and it counts as an icon of my choice. We'll just put it under home gym. Counts for an experience. Becoming a meme is my only experience. So that counts as a star as well. Okay. All right. There we go. Now, I've already talked about some of the issues I have with the game. The small typeface, the unclear nature of some of the cards in terms of exactly what goes on, the notion here about this is again the only thing where you have to explain to people when you're teaching the game. If you do this here, you can draw a career or gain a briefcase if you're grown up, but you can take actions here to grow up first so that you get the briefcase. You don't want to surprise people by doing that, because then that's kind of rude. If you just do that and show them and you're like, well, now you know this for next game. Okay, that's rude. Keep playing, see if these cross, see how well I do, how famous I actually become. Now, that's the solo game. For the multiplayer game, you're going to flip this over. The tracks are the same. You're going to start with tokens here, but other people will have their tokens as well. So that's the same. Each player will have a board that is nearly identical. The only difference being that meditate now refers to something else, right? Everything else is the same on here. Meditate's the only thing that's different. You reveal or replace one of your values. So that is what's being added into the game. You take away solo achievements, all this other stuff. We still have life events, but now we have a deck of values. Right? Adulthood's the same. We lay out 5 cards. Oh, look at all those experiences. Nothing but experiences at this point. And what changes? Okay. We now allocate our resources. We can do it pretty much all at the same time, but you're going clockwise around the table. So I put things down. I'm going to resolve my actions, right? I put these on here. I will get money, impact, energy. I then buy 1 card, or rather acquire 1 card. That's it. I acquire that, and this is the cost. Well, when I take this one, I get energy. Nothing. I can just take that for free. Pay energy or money, pay energy and money. That's it. So you're going to get 1 card, and then everything slides down. You add in a new card. So worst case scenario, if you don't care about anything, take this and then you get energy. Okay. So things go more slowly in terms of how you're collecting the cards. But the game lasts many more rounds. As you're moving along the track, you still get grown up when you hit that arrow. And when you cross one of these spaces, you get a life event at the end of your turn. So now the number of life events you get will vary depending upon how well you move things across, move your tokens on the board. Other unclarity in the rules, it mentions when you cross this, you become grown up. Is that, or is that crossing the 7? We kept playing, when you hit 6, you grow up. When you hit 7, you get a life event at the end of your turn. It's just the unclarity there. You want an example to have clarity on that. What does cross mean? If it's reach the arrow, I understand if I score 3 in 1 turn, I reach the arrow. But crossing the arrow, not sure. Okay, values. You are going to start with 3 values. Okay. You get to look at one of them, and then you put it back. Now, the values give you endgame scoring. Okay. Whether you look at them or not, you are going to score them at the end of the game. How you see them is by spending energy on the meditate action. So if I spend energy here on my turn, I reveal one of them. And again, the wording here, not great. Reveal. What they mean is put one in your hand. Right? You don't have to remember what it is. You now just take it into your hand. Okay? All right. That's right. Actually, the one you look at, we just put in your hand as well. Or replace. So this one, at the end of the game, I gain 2 happiness for each community card in my life. Community being these blue ones here. So if I have this, I want to get as many of these community cards as possible. Each time I get a new one, the old one goes away, and I'll get 2 happiness at the end of the game for each of these that I have. If it's near the end of the game and I don't have any of these yet, I might want to spend energy. I just throw this away and I'll get a new value. And I don't know what that value is until I spend energy again and then put it over here. All of the value cards give you happiness at the end of the game. So here you gain happiness for each art symbol. Here at the end of the game, happiness for every 2 energy you have left. At the end of the game, happiness for each grown-up, married, and promoted token. So you can get at most 3 happiness from this. The values vary a lot depending upon, like if you have no energy, you get nothing. No art, you get nothing. Here you get at most 3. And you'll probably get 3 because you'll probably do all those things. Get grown up, married, promoted. You better get grown up or else you're definitely not going to win. I'll show you new ones here. So you got some end game scoring from that. Okay, that's added in the multiplayer game. You get to adjust the values by spending energy. Somewhat realistic. And another thing added, if you go back to partners, let's show you a few more of those. You may notice partners have a tiny little heart up here with a tiny little symbol in there. I think that's a diamond or a square tilted. Yes, it is. If one of your values matches your partner at the end of the game, you get 4 points. So I don't think any of those 2, star, circle, circle, at least that's what I'm seeing, again, from a distance. So I may swap values to try to get diamond here. Or heck, maybe I'll swap partners. So long, graphic designer. I want to date a celebrity. And a celebrity requires a circle, and I got a circle. Okay. So you match those, you get 4 points. So the values are kind of, it's nice. The end game scoring gives you something to work with. It's a little trick to try to maximize it because first you even need to know what they are. And then you're trying to find the right partner to match up with one of your values so that you know you mesh well. I value riches and married a celebrity. How fortunate. Okay. That's that. You still lose points for unhappiness and bad impact. And the final thing is you score for sets of life symbols. Now, I showed some of the life symbols, art, little hands together, text bubbles, books, let's see, glasses, diamonds. I think there's a couple more. Yep, the family together, and there's one more. Gems? Nope, got gems. Stars. There we go. All right. So you got all these symbols. And at the end of the game, if you have 3 or more of a symbol, you score points equal to 2 minus that number. So at the end of the game, if I have 3 gems, I score 1 point from those gems. And that's it for the extra scoring. Values, does your partner match one of your values? And you're set. They don't have that in the solo game because clearly some of the solo achievements just want you to get those symbols. So of course you're collecting them. You're looking for them actively and you're throwing out everything that isn't that usually. In the multiplayer game, you're trying to acquire those over time. You see what other people are getting. Maybe someone's just going heavily into gang. You know, they want gang symbols. Maybe you want to take a gang just so they don't have it, but it's only if it helps you. And this is really why I taught the solo experience first, because the multiplayer game feels very much like the solo experience in that you're going to have cards out here. You're going to get one of them. I am generally only caring about what I need. I'm probably not looking. Are you collecting family symbols? Are you collecting hands? Do you want an open relationship? Here you can have multiple partners. But you can, I believe, only marry one. You only have one spouse, but multiple partners, just fine. Costs to get a house, lots of money. All right, and then each turn you spend time on a partner, you get happiness and energy once you have a house. Doesn't happen if you get an apartment. Okay, I'm not looking at what anyone else wants. I'm just looking for what I want. And then I take it. I keep going for house in every game that comes up. I don't know why. Just because I value that, and then it takes 4 money, and then it takes forever to get. And I haven't learned my lesson yet. But I take a house, these slide down, and then other people take a couple things on their turn, and then slides down, and then I just get something new. So you're only getting one thing out there, and you can expect everything else. Maybe you're not going to be able to float something around the table and get it. Maybe with running, because right now it costs a bunch. If you want to be Gump, you can do that. But I'm just looking at what I'm doing on my own board with my own partner, my own careers, my own values. Everything is focused on me and not what other people are doing. And then suddenly you're like, oh, Mr. Green here is about to end the game. So the game end triggers when someone crosses, meets these two. You finish the rounds, everyone has the same number of turns, and then you score points. So it's a very solo experience in the multiplayer game as well. There's an overview of Adulthood, which I played 5 times in a review copy from Brotherwise Games, once solo, once with 2 players, and 3 times with 3 players. And I didn't play the 4-player game, like to usually try to experience a game with all player counts, but the difference between 2 and 3 player was not much. Just the adulthood market shifted a bit more. And with 4 players, it would go even faster, so that you would be unlikely to be able to float a card around the table and get it on your next turn. That was kind of it. I mean, you'll run out of decks, perhaps. We even ran out of the career deck in a 3-player game because people would often have 1 time left over, and I'll just draw a career card. Why not? Give me options. Maybe it'll match better with my values. It'll give me a symbol that I need to match with a set. So we just drafted all the career cards over the course of the game. There's nothing available. Because even when you go from one career to another, those previous careers go into your life stack. They are not discarded. So once they're all drafted, they're gone. You do have to, of course, get re-promoted if you get a new career. The promotion does not carry over from one career to another, but then you just do the thing where you put the card down, and on your next turn, you allocate time to get promoted. You put the resources you need to pay for the promoted side, and do that. Of course, if you switch partners, the marriage does not carry over. You have to get married again, which costs money, unless you are good looking. I think that's the card. If you're good looking, it never costs money to date. It's kind of interesting. So there's lots of fun little story elements that come out of playing the game where, I am good looking and I'm trying to do all this, and I'm going out on so many dates and doing all this, seeing all these partners. It's fun to play that up a bit. And that's kind of the only interaction that we really have as we're playing with multiple people, is that sort of storytelling element. I mean, you could have the game just with none of that at all and just have symbols and text, and that's it. And it'd be much drier, but the gameplay wouldn't differ. The gameplay would be identical, but adding in the pictures, adding in the text, it adds more to it, where you get to role play a little bit in this minor way, that now I'm going to be a professor, and now I'm a telemarketer, and now I'm an actor, and so on. And I'm shifting careers all around, trying to find myself, trying to align all those actions with my values. Although then you can just throw away values and get new ones. So easy. So the gameplay works well. It's just one of the drafting style games that I'm not particularly a fan of, in that we have very little interaction between the players, other than possibly taking a card that someone else wants, but usually only because you want it as well. Because you only get 1 card a turn, so you're trying to progress yourself each turn. It's rare that you can't find something that you want, and at worst, you get energy, which then you can use to possibly change value or put out a new career, go out with a partner, and so on. So it all works. It's not my style because, again, it's a very solo experience. We realized in the 2-player game, we were like halfway through, 2/3 of the way, and I'd played before with that person in a 3-player game, and both of us were just like, I never even looked at your board. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're collecting. It's just heads down, completely on yourself. So if you like that type of experience where you can't really mess with what other people can't mess with you, then there you go. It works perfectly for that. Not so much my thing. But there are still little issues, as I mentioned, with very small text size, very small icons. I find it very difficult to see. And again, this is just a recurring issue for me, and maybe it's just at my age, that's always going to be an issue. And I just have to accept that I'm going to have to pick up cards and hold them close and look down my glasses and do all this. And then there's just a general sort of sloppiness to it, or just like things need to be refined a little bit. Here's the rulebook for Adulthood, which looks very normal. First page, talking about components. All right, here's how to set up for the game. Here's explanation of your board. And this is where you see that, when you meditate, you take one of the face down cards and put it in your hand. That's not what reveal would normally mean. If you're looking at your board and you see that you are revealing one of your values, that's not put it in your hand or discard and get a new one, new face down. Right? That's not what I would think of as replace. So they need different wording on the board. And then you go into play your turn, allocate your time, resolve your time, get cards. And here's where you start getting blocks of text at this point. Right? Here, not so much. Set up for the next turn. Well, then you go to the center board, and everything becomes giant blocks of text. There's no bullet points through any of this. So it makes it very hard to find something that you think is important. Everything is a little more like a story where we're telling things. Like, career cards represent the bulk of your time. Okay, I mean, that's like a way of talking to one another, and it might be the way that you explain the game to someone that you're teaching, but trying to reference this and find details becomes very difficult. Okay, resources and traits. I explain all those. Okay, and then card effects and actions. Again, just blocks of text. Block. And trying to find the details for certain things seems way more confusing than it should be. So it just takes a while. Trying to find that, trying to reference that, trying to be like, okay, how do we use this again where, you need the promotion and then you're only using the right-hand side. All right. Cards without actions. This card, the NFT card in particular, it's worth sunglasses. And then when you put it into play, which costs you money, it's worth another sunglass. But you just have to remember that you normally would stack all those cards in your life deck, in your life experience deck, your experience deck, I think. But now you have to remember that you have one there when you're actually counting the icons at the end of the game. So it feels a little clunky that you have that. And game solo. It's mostly these 2 pages and these 2 pages just make me groan a bit as I have any question and I'm trying to figure it out. There's also small details where apparently they change the names of things. So one of the cards says gain the top card of the life deck. What? What is that? I mean, I assume they mean the Adulthood deck. And at some point it was called the life deck. There's also a reference to health, which I believe refers to any of the orange ones. So wellness and meditate, but was there a reference to health? No, it's wellness. Community, career, leisure. So there's a reference to health on one of the cards, and you're just like, well, I guess they mean this. And with the life deck, I guess they mean experience. So it just feels like there's a little element of polishing throughout here with the cards themselves, in addition to enlarging everything, where we had questions how something's going to work, and then we have to resolve it. And it just makes for a less fun experience with that sort of uncertainty. Brotherwise did post an FAQ to answer some of the questions that people had about the rules or specific cards. There's a link right here if you want to go check it out and see what has been updated since the game was released. Maybe things not covered so clearly. If you're trying to read the rules and get an understanding of the game, maybe that would help you do that, because it's a lot to take in as you're reading through all the text and trying to parse out what's happening. And again, maybe this is more my issue, where I like rules a particular way. I need bullet points to highlight things, and I'm not looking for a story involved with why career cards are like this and why partners are like this, and just want, how do I use them? Do all that. And then I can do the story as I'm playing it or as I'm explaining to people and make it come to life that way rather than in the rules. Maybe that's just more my issue than how it's presented in the box. So there you go. Again, gives the experience that you're trying to get of moving from being a child up to adulthood. You have this experience, you have these things that are happening sometimes to you as you get life events, but sometimes your choice from the options available. And you just deal with it, right? There's not that many games along those lines. Freedom and Frieza had Funny Friends, came out in 2005, which was more detailed and I feel more open and varied in the type of experiences you would have. In that game, you would track your characteristics, like how fat and skinny you are, well, I'm trying to remember all the details. It's been a long time since I played the game from 2005. So it was like a scale from fat, skinny, and then drunk, sober, and then something. And you would also have partners that you can marry, and you make friends with people at the table, and you have little friend tokens. And as you would have an experience, your friend would have that experience as well. And so they might start getting skinny because you all went to a retreat or whatever it is. And they may not want that depending upon their life goals, because everyone is getting life goals that they're trying to achieve with a certain level of characteristics and other things as well. They were highly varied. And so aside from these two, there's not much else. I mean, you can go back to the game of life, but that's more just spinning a wheel and you see what happens to you with very few choices made. So this type of game experience doesn't exist a lot. I just wish it was a little more polished so that at least we wouldn't have questions as we're making our way through it. We want to just focus on life itself and not the details of how to get through life like we're trying to navigate a phone bill. That's the part we want to avoid. Just let us get to the good stuff.